Welcome back to Squawk Box. GameStop and AMC seeing increased buying from small investors, though much less than the meme stock surge 3 years ago. Joining us right now is Eric So. He's a professor of global economics and management at MIT. You know, I keep shaking my head at this, saying we're living in some kind of time machine. You know, there are folks online who are very unhappy with that perspective. What's yours?
Great. Thanks for having me on. I think the headline for today has to be that the meme stocks are coming roaring back thanks to Roaring Kitty. You know, I teach my students at MIT that stock prices, of course, move due to business fundamentals, but they also move due to waves of market sentiment, which really reflect periods of heightened demand that have little to do with fundamentals. And so when these sentiment waves begin to form, savvy investors jump in early in anticipation of the wave building further. But that initial buying pressure tends to create more upward price pressure, which then kind of feeds into FOMO for other investors who then jump in. And the cycle can continue. In some extreme cases, as we saw in 2021, this can lead to sustained bubbles in asset prices. What's really needed, though, is a clear signal that a sentiment wave is, in fact, forming. And that's where Roaring Kitty jumped in. So each retail investor is likely too small to meaningfully move markets on their own, but they can create meaningful movements in price when they band together.
Okay, but Eric, I hear all of that. I just want to understand whether you think this is some kind of manipulation. Is there something that should be done about it? The reason I say that is, and I know people are probably saying, there are people out there trading this. They're saying, you know, Sorkin, stop it. Don't, you know, it's not your job to protect us. And in fact, you're not protecting us. You're protecting the man, whoever you think the man is. But the truth is that a lot of people last time around who saw this movie, we know the movie, we know how it ends in advance. It's like, you know how it ends, and yet it happens anyway. And so the question is, what are folks supposed to do about it? Because most people who are watching us right now who are involved in this are going to lose money.
Yeah, so I think you could think about potential regulation either from like an ethical or a practical perspective. I think from a practical perspective, it's going to be very hard to rein in some of this retail trading in a meaningful way. If you look at what Roaring Kitty and others have posted in recent days, it hardly reaches the threshold of what I would consider stock manipulation. But also just from an ethical standpoint, I mean, look, I think that I understand the desire for orderly and fair financial markets. I think, though, it comes with some costs associated with potential regulation, including disenfranchising retail investors who, I think are underrepresented in financial markets. So I understand the desire for regulation, but implementing it and whether it creates externalities, I think, poses some significant hurdles.
So you think that if you think that the retail investor is not disenfranchised? I would argue, unfortunately, the retail investor has always been disenfranchised. In fact, I think one of the things that we try to do here on this network, and anybody who's involved in covering the world of finance at all, is trying to democratize this in some way. But the truth is that the man, a hedge fund that has a several $100 million a year, in some cases, budget, to buy satellite data and information and research that others can't get access to, which is completely illegal, make it very, very difficult from a trading perspective, daily trading, not necessarily as a long-term investor, but on daily trading like this, it makes the playing field not always feel level.
That's right. I definitely understand that sentiment. I think, though, putting in further regulations, putting in restrictions on retail trading is only likely to amplify that. For example, if the SEC were to really take action against Roaring Kitty or retail traders on Reddit, I think you'd see.
I don't know what the action would be. What would be the action?
Yeah, I think
he posts a picture of some guy leaning forward in a chair. I don't even know what the case looks like. What would you even write? What would you tell the judge?
That's exactly right. So yesterday, I saw you had, former the SEC commissioner on talking about hauling him in front on CNBC. I think just that illustrates some of the practical limitations of any potential regulation.